What is going on, everybody? We are here and we are live. It is already a busy day, but that's okay. I'm already getting trolled in the chat with Justin Fields stuff. How has that started? How am I already getting trolled with Justin Fields bullshit in the chat? The Sports War stream is early, okay? The Sports War stream is early on in the day. We don't need to be bringing up the Chicago Bears shit in here too, Caleb, okay? Like, we don't need it to happen. But we are here on RK Outpost Live about a half hour earlier than normal. We're going to go live on the main channel about an hour and a half earlier than normal. Everything's compressed today because I'm really fucking excited to go watch Dune Part 2. I rewatched for the first time in a couple months, rewatched the first Dune on Max last night. I was reminded how much I really enjoyed that movie again. So I cannot wait to see Part 2. I'm ready, okay? Ready to go see it in IMAX a couple days before a lot of other people. Excited as fuck. Actually, something I'm excited to watch, which doesn't happen too often. But this stream is not so much about me. It's about a lot of other people you guys see in the chat all the time. Over here on RK Outpost Live, once a month on the last Sunday of every month. The top tier supporters on Patreon, the top tier supporters for the channel members get together and you get to hear from them instead of listening to my fucking ass, which you hear all the time, sometimes about the same topics multiple times a week. Instead of listening to me, you get to hear their input. So that's always a good thing. We're going to get started right away, bringing these guys in. Oracle of Doom.
Hail, RK Nation. How's everybody doing today?
I can't speak for everybody, but I'm doing okay. I could have used a little more sleep, but I don't care. I get to watch Dune tonight, so that's good.
Yeah, you suck about that. I have to wait until next Sunday. We got our IMAX tickets ready to go, but man, lucky you get to see it early.
I saw it's like some London sales charts and IMAX showings for like March 24th or something, like 4 weeks out, are like half sold out for Dune Part 2 in IMAX in London right now. So a lot of people buying their IMAX tickets in advance. I didn't get, just to be clear, I didn't get any special invite or whatever. It just happened that they're doing a pretty limited Sunday fan first screening something. All you had to do was go in there and buy tickets. So I just
don't buy it. He's truly a Sith Lord. He manipulated the Force.
Nah, didn't happen. Sir Reefer, what's up, man? How you doing?
Well, I forgot we were doing this early. And I stayed up late last night, so I just woke up naturally and had to visit my garage because I slept on my back weird.
There you go. Had to visit your garage.
Well, it doesn't stink up my dad's house.
Got it. Yeah, just so go out the door or something like that to the porch. I've seen people do that out on the balcony, whatever. Yeah.
Well, the garage, because it's been cold and I don't really want to go do that shit in the snow right now.
That makes sense.
Right. But, I was convinced to get Helldivers 2 because it's only $40. I didn't know that. I thought it was a full $60 game. Fuck them bugs and bots. That's all I got to say. Spread, manage democracy across the planet.
Nice. Hey, there you go. We're joined by Patty, as always. What's up, Patty?
Well, not much. Just enjoying a casual Sunday.
A casual Sunday. Yeah, not too early of a start for this, just to be clear. Just because we were thinking about maybe moving up to like 1 or something. We're like, all right, we'll split the difference. Half hour early for this one, hour and a half early for my other stream. So I'm glad all these guys can make it to the slightly changed time. And for the first time, we have Kalen Wilkinson. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, doing good. I mean, I was doing better, but yesterday I watched the first episode of the live-action Avatar, and it was horrendous and horrific, so that's just got me in an awful mood. But I mean, Dune 2 is coming out, so hopefully that's good, change things up.
That's right. I'm looking forward to Dune. I don't give a fuck. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because I didn't even put it in the title or anything. I just put a couple things that I knew I was going to talk about anyway. But as always, this stream is like for these guys to talk about shit they're interested in too. So I'm sure we're going to get into Netflix Avatar, The Last Airbender. I don't give two fucks about that, but I know a lot of people do. Now, listen, he's a busy guy. If you guys didn't know, he's a big-time YouTuber. Doesn't get a lot of time to come by streams like this, but for the first time in forever, we've got Mexican Iron Man. What's up, buddy?
Hey, brother. What an intro. That's so weird. Good seeing you. And I am also going to Dune. I'm cutting out of this stream a little bit early because I got to go help George with his live stream. And then, dude, I got an Amex. Dude, that IMAX theater that's having a special early thing here in Savannah, bro. Like, I barely got the last aisle seats. That theater is sold the F out as of like 15 minutes ago. It's front row and disability only.
Yeah, that's been the way mine is. I'm going to see one of the ones here in Orlando, and basically since they announced it, the only things that were there were like the front row of IMAX. So
great to be here, and hail forever, Arcane Nation.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And listen, nobody wants Mexican Iron Man to be a YouTuber more than me. So just keep that going. Just keep that going. Mexican Iron Man, the YouTuber. And last but certainly not least, and actually, who knows who else might join during the stream, so he might not be last. We got Sleazy, who I interrupted from making his avatar video because we were doing the stream a little bit early.
I mean, to be fair to you, I was killing bugs earlier, trying to save Super Earth, so it's not entirely your fault, but I'm still going to blame you.
Is everyone playing Helldivers right now? Is that what's going on?
It is such a good game. It's so good.
You know what's crazy is I don't think I've seen any gameplay from it. Like I've seen virtually. I know everyone's playing the game, but I've been so checked out. I haven't seen fucking anything from it.
It appeals to the male fantasy. You dive into a hellscape. You are just trying to survive as long as you can and save humans. It's fantastic.
As of 2 days prior, I am now in training with Elden Ring because I've been informed that a really nasty DLC is coming out, and if you are familiar with that particular game, it's going to be fun but nightmarish at the same time.
8 new weapon types, not just weapons, weapon types.
Yeah, I've heard that's a massive DLC for Elden Ring. Like, so for people that got out of it, looks like you can get ready to hop right back into it. YouTube says Dune is boring as hell. This is what I'll say. Is that the Dune? So the first Dune Part 1 that came out 3 years ago, I don't think it's an easy watch, right? It's not something you just flip on, and you're like, hey, I'm just gonna relax and kind of watch this out of the corner of my eye. It's not that kind of movie. It's not an easy watch, but the book is not an easy read either. I think it's I really enjoy it. I was reminded how much I fucking really like, especially so much of what they do the first half of the movie, before they even get into some of the bigger action parts. Just rewatching it last night, and I'm fucking excited for part 2. It's getting rave reviews from.
I'm just looking forward to the poetry. I mean, I hope we get a scene with Josh Brolin and Timothy, where Josh Brolin just pours his heart out to him one-on-one, maybe in Timothy's bed chambers, and that's what I'm most excited for. I hope it makes it in the final cut.
That Josh Brolin shit is so weird, so creepy. But I mean, I don't know. That's a Hollywood thing. I think they're all fantasizing about fucking each other, regardless of what their gender are.
I have a question. Has actually this Charlemagne guy responded to said poem?
Timothy Chalamet? So. I don't know if we've heard anything specifically about it. It's not just a poem about him. It's there's poetry about a bunch of different castmates in there. I haven't read any other than the Timothy one because it came off so creepy. But yeah, I don't know who else watched Dune and who else is looking forward to Dune Part 2. Anybody?
Oh, I definitely am.
Yeah.
So I think this might actually be the one movie I try to go back to the theater for.
Yeah, I mean, few and far between in terms of things that are oh, really? I want to get me out. But you like the first one a lot, Patty?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had some issues with it, but it's standard, just deviation from the books, that sort of thing.
No, Dune for a long time has felt to a lot of people like it's almost it's one of the most impossible things to adapt.
It is.
For a variety of reasons, including the disjointed storytelling. Before each chapter, you've got basically entries from a journal in the future telling you things that don't actually get revealed in the book for a while. It would be very, very tough. Now, I did see Frank Herbert's son come out and basically say, this is fucking amazing. My father would have loved to see this adaptation of shit on screen, which is cool. Who knows how serious that is or if he's just saying that for whatever, but I thought it was, pretty good praise. So I don't think it's going to be Empire Strikes Back level. the critic score is at right now, but I'm looking forward to it being awesome.
Well, I read 3 of his books before I actually saw the 89 movie. So, and that was interesting. I'll definitely say that. And you know, the 89 movie actually gets better when you see some of the fan edits, like, for example, on YouTube that they've cut together, the 4-hour masterpiece editions. Those are pretty good. But this movie that came out, you know, you have to say, cinematographically speaking, it's beautiful. It's amazing just when you see it in an IMAX screen. It's just amazing. And this one, I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Yeah. What about you, YouTuber Mexican Iron Man?
So I rewatched the first one last night. I first saw the one in IMAX when it came out with Stone Loki, our buddy from Loki's Mornings of Mischief. He and I saw it in IMAX. And last night I saw, and I've seen it probably, I don't know, 4 or 5. The last time was probably the 4th or 5th time I've seen it. And you know, my home system is pretty wicked. And I am so jazzed. I got up at 5, 6, like just, I can't remember, honestly, Ryan. It's like what you said earlier. I can't remember the last time I woke up and was excited to go to the movies like this. It's been a while, and I'm not even sure when was the last time.
Yeah, and of course, we're always setting ourselves up for fucking disappointment and failure.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, how many times have I been excited and been disappointed? Good point.
Yeah, which sucks. But yeah, I mean, last year there was a couple things like John Wick 4. I was like, okay, you know, I'm excited for that to come out. Mission Impossible, is excited for another Mission Impossible, but getting excited for the 7th Mission Impossible isn't quite the same as like getting excited for Bits, which is a sequel to a movie I really enjoyed 3 years ago. So yeah, hopefully. Listen, I'm not hoping for it to be the freaking, like, the best movie of all time. I'm hoping for it to be really good. I think there's definitely a limit to the amount of people that will consume a movie like this, but I thought that about Oppenheimer as well.
I did too, and man, and that thing just wouldn't stop. In fact, people that I barely knew, people that I knew that were barely moviegoers were going to watch that movie left and right. You know, they just came out of the woodwork, and it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure, real quick, for $5. Hey, Ryan, do you have any evidence Jon Favreau hired Lizzo? Yes, I do. If you watched Star Grift 2 weeks ago, you would have seen me pull out that information, that video of Jon Favreau himself saying that his kids saw Lizzo doing Baby Yoda TikToks. And so he reached out to her to make sure to get her on the show. Not a Kathleen Kennedy decision, crazy enough.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't understand how people are still excited, especially like Star Wars theory about, because it's like Favreau and Filoni, they did Mando season 1, they did Mando season 3, they did Mando season 3, 1, 2, 3, and then Ahsoka was all Filoni. He had full control over that, as everyone said, is everything that's been released about that was all him. These guys have had control for like 5 years. There have been like half a dozen shows, and they've all been bad, like aside from maybe Mando season 1. But I guess there's still the excitement of, oh, I mean, maybe the next one will be good because Filoni has more control, I guess, which some people still seem to expect to be a good thing. But like the whole thing with Clone Wars is, Clone Wars wasn't just Filoni. There were lots of other people involved. The Ahsoka show seems like that was mostly just Filoni in charge. And it just seems like his track record is so pathetic. I don't understand how other people don't understand or realize that, and how you can receive something bad so many times and still expect, oh yeah, I mean, the next one's going to be good. We're going to get to see more Ahsoka, and, you know, Barris is going to come in and Ventress is alive again, I guess. I don't know. Just whatever.
God, please don't, you know, murder Ventress now. Come on.
I mean, with the Filoni thing, I mean, when I rewatched that last year, because I don't know why, but I did. But I rewatched it, and I was surprised how many of those episodes in those seasons he wasn't involved. You know, seasons 1, 2, 3. You know, he didn't come on. His name didn't flash in front of the producer credits or whatever, directing episodes towards the end of that run.
Well, he was involved with everything, though, in terms of supervising everything from the get-go. But yeah, like certain things, whether it's writing credits or whether it's specific directing credits or whatever, but he was definitely like the lead guy heading up all of Clone Wars, like throughout his entire time. Got his name on more stuff throughout, though. He was supervising all of it. Despite, go ahead.
You guys are not thinking of the bright side. We've got the Acolyte coming out. Ryan is going to make a fortune. All these guys are going to make a fortune. It's going to be great. Hail Arcanation. Come on. And we all get to laugh at the absolute devastating failure that is Disney.
The Acolyte's going to be wild.
I want Ryan to get a boat. Can we get a new boat for Arcanation?
Listen, I don't need a boat. I don't even need a new car. I'm good. Let's just keep grinding. I don't need a boat like what a Valiant Renegade. I don't need. Listen, I don't need to take a boat out there, do my whole boat video. Listen, I've got a Nissan Altima because Brie Larson told me to get a Nissan. So I'm happy.
You couldn't even splurge for the Maxima. It had to be the Ultima.
Had to be the Ultima. No reason for the Maxima. The Ultima is perfectly fine. But I saw people were tagging me in Brie Larson from the SAG Awards yesterday. Can't get away from it. Can't get away from it. When it comes to Star Wars, and what's up, Grandmaster Chris? Thanks for popping in.
Hi, Ryan.
When it comes to Star Wars, I think that people, I think people really want to believe that, well, if it's something I like, then this person who I think is to blame for everything must not be involved, you know? Or if it's something I like, it must be because these people that I want to like are involved and they had control. The reality is that despite, I'm sure, just like any studio or whatever, there's, you know, butting of heads and creative differences and which way should we go, things like that when you're making these decisions. The bottom line is all these people are on the same page. They're all like, everybody is working for Kathleen Kennedy. They're all making this shit. And I just don't think that the people that have currently been making shit, that there's really any hope to get any great storytelling from those people based on what we've seen.
Yeah, and now there's plenty of people who don't even care enough about the original trilogy to understand when characters act out of character. Like, if you've been following me on Twitter, I'm right now currently getting into arguments years after the fact. People still trying to say, Luke didn't try to kill Kylo. He just... No. The sheer fact that he thought about it is a betrayal of Luke's character. He's standing over Darth Vader, the guy who blew up a planet and cut off his hand, killed his father figure in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and his first thought is, I feel the good in you, father, the conflict. But as soon as his nephew farts something dark side, he's like, oh, I gotta kill him. And people are still trying to defend that to this day. So I'm sorry if I come across as very angry right now, but God, it pisses me off. To this day, you still got people who think like that.
Technically, in Darth Vader's defense, though, it was actually Grand Moff Tarkin that ordered the destruction of Alderaan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Vader really wasn't that bad of a guy.
Yeah, Vader wanted the Death Star to be destroyed. By the way, yeah, like he didn't even like it. You know, he wanted Luke and everyone to just blow it up. In fact, probably helped. You know,
that is an interesting Star Wars theory for sure. I see United Spacers Alliance. Which is Tim from Open Airlock Policy, which has now become United Spacers Alliance, a rebrand for the channel. I don't know exactly. I know it happened a couple days ago. I don't know what the purpose of it was, but shout out to the rebrand to United Spacers Alliance. Our man Dom H for 20 says, hail everyone and hail the 199 podcast. Hey, thanks Dom for following over from Sports Wars to here. And I'm sure we'll see you in the next stream too. Sweet. So thank you very much. Now, since Sleazy was working on his video, I think about The Last Airbender. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. We might as well talk about it because that is a big deal. Obviously, yeah. I'm famously known for not giving a fuck about really any anime and almost ever. But Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's a lot of fans around it. And the first live action movie was a complete and total disaster. Netflix now has a live action series. And I'll be honest, I watched the first 3 episodes. Wasn't super compelling. I thought the acting was like very fucking poor for the most part from almost everyone, not just the kids. But also at the same time, I wasn't like severely offended. I'm kind of intrigued as to like what the state of the world is and why things are like this, but probably not something I'm even going to watch throughout the first season. But I don't care about it. For the people that do care about it, how do you guys feel?
Okay, so I'm going to preface this. I watched the series. I'm not a huge fan of everything that came after. I don't care much outside of the original series because the original series was good. So I'm not a super fan, but I did watch the series. I do remember it because that's kind of what I grew up on. And watching all the changes, and I think I made 3 or 4 videos saying this is going to be woke, and everybody's like, "No, you're not. You have no idea what you're talking about." The original creators went woke. I was like, I trust me, this is going to be it, and they did. Every time Aang had a badass fight and pulled out his powers and did some badass shit, they changed that to some Katara's doing it now because women have to be the strong characters now. It's just women saving male characters, and I hate it. The first episode I was kind of like, man, but it just went downhill so fast after that.
I've only seen the first episode, and it's just because I don't want to watch the rest. I have to because my friends are reviewing it, so I'm kind of obligated to. But episode 1, I can't imagine, even if someone said, oh yeah, 2, 3, the rest of it's so good. How could it be? From episode 1, they botch everything. So episode 1 basically is supposed to like encapsulate, I guess, the first 3 episodes of the animated series, which I love, by the way. I've rewatched it 1,000 times. It's fantastic. But they mess up everything. So every time they edit, the scenes are so fast, like 5 seconds. But every time they edit and cut to another thing in episode 1 of the live action, they're cutting out the best scenes from the animation. Like if there's a good character moment between characters, edit it out. If there's something with Zuko walking down a plank and Sokka runs at him, and in one kick, Sokka's down, to show power levels, to show what a non-bender is compared to a bender, to show power levels to go to Sokka, just change that completely. At the end of the episode, when they show Zuko hurl the fireball at Appa and them, in the animation, Aang airbends it aside into a cliff of ice, which falls on the ship, delaying the ship and delaying Zuko for like half the season, which leads to a whole plot line with the Zhao and pirates and stuff. I don't even, as someone who's only seen episode 1, I don't know how they even move forward with that plot line.
But in this one, they have Katara do the water ball, right?
They just make her strong. She's in season 3. That's Katara from season 3 probably couldn't even do that. But that's like 6,000 miles up. The water goes straight up. And how? So Zuko is pretty much nothing now compared to Katara, who has no training. In the animation, episode 1 in this area, Katara could barely make water move slowly like little ripples. And that's why she's such a good character, because throughout the series, everyone trains, they train together, they learn, they travel around the world. And speaking of traveling, by the way, you wouldn't know this, but between cuts, when they cut to the air temple they go to, they've traveled like halfway across the world, but they just cut out all the traveling. And you wouldn't even know that they just traveled from the water tribe, which is like on one side of the world, to the air temple on the other side, which they just cut. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and they cut out
all
all
how
of
to use Gendry fast travel.
And they cut out all of Aang's development from being a fun-loving kid who just wants to have fun, who wants to play with animals, play with all the toys, goof off, to, hey, you're the Avatar. Oh, okay, I'll quit being a kid now. I'm the Avatar. Time to get serious. It's all that development that he had, where he interacts with other people and builds relationships up, is gone.
And in Fellowship of the Ring, we see Gimli entering the tomb, and he's very excited. We're going to go have a dwarven feast. It's going to be awesome. And then we get the slow building of dread, where he's realizing that something's wrong and everyone's dead. In the animation, we get the same thing. I think it's episode 3, where they arrive at the island. It's this slow scene with lingering on Aang's face. He's so excited. He's talking, we're going to play airball. It's going to be awesome. And we get this slow build-up of anticipation of realizing that something's wrong. And we see these things, and Katara even like hides this body or this thing, I forgot what it was, this bone, so Aang doesn't see it. Like her and Sokka share a look, and we have this whole anticipation, which then we get to when they find Gyatso's corpse, and it's so emotional between Aang and them, and it's such a good payoff when he enters the Avatar state. Versus the live action, we get like 2 seconds of them walking up, and then they just see the corpse, and then Aang just enters the Avatar state, and there's no emotional payoff because we haven't had the build up and the investment. Versus in the animation, after 3 episodes, the 20-minute episodes, so an hour in total, we're so invested in these characters and sucked into the world. After an hour of this live action, I watched it with Alec Baldwin's finger and Yo Pops. Neither of them have seen the animation. And at the end of this, they said, I don't care. Nothing's pulled me in or sucked me in. So what's the point?
So what you're basically saying is that there's a lack of creativity and storytelling and all the elements we've been bitching about. Yeah,
Bad writing.
sounds familiar.
I'm going to disagree with that. I don't think there's a lack of creativity because they didn't have to be creative.
They didn't have
All
to
they had
be creative.
to do was
Yeah, they had
copy it,
source
and they
material.
couldn't even do that.
Fair
They
enough.
edit out all the best scenes. They edit out all the best character moments. You have to go in and do work to specifically change all the good stuff or cut it out. And I can't comprehend why they would do that or who thought that was a good idea. I don't get it.
You gotta-
Very
so
much
I-
Last of Us.
they kind of forgot to do setups because they just want to go straight to the payoffs in everything. They got
Yeah,
their
payoffs without
in
setups.
mind, but they kind of forget, like, okay, how do we get to that payoff? Oh,
I will say the funniest thing about everybody finally seeing the Avatar series is that my videos on it got ratioed so bad, and now I'm starting to see comments trickle in.
Oh, you were
Yeah,
right.
you were kind of right. It's like, you.
Sleazy was right.
So
I'm getting
I have
tired
heard,
of making I was right videos.
I
No, you're
heard
not.
that the Avatar series was described as like someone was told the story by their friend who watched it, and then they made that into the TV show.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's what Garrett
erroneous.
said. I think Garrett said his son maybe told him that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like somebody watched the thing a decade ago and described to somebody else what it was about, and that's what they made.
No, someone watched the Shyamalan movie and decided to adapt that into a series.
Oh my
But they
god.
messed it up.
Lord.
At least in the Shyamalan movie, Aang has the glider. In this, he can just fly. That's like if we go back to the first Avenger and just say, "Oh, Captain America can fly now." The
But
retroactively
yeah.
changes everything.
That's one of the things that didn't make sense to me was I'm seeing him flying and like doing all this shit, like actually flying, and then he needed the glider to escape. And then when the glider got hit, he's falling down like he's gonna die. I'm like, I literally just saw this motherfucker flying. Why would I worry about him at all?
Now, to give a little context to that, if you are a fan of that series, in The Legend of Korra, there's, I think, what is it, in season 2 or 3, where there's like this evil asshole that basically learns to be able to actually fly like Superman. But it's this whole thing, and it takes like half the damn season to get to understanding why he's able to do that. And there's a lot of history behind it. What you guys are just saying is like, hi, I'm the Avatar. I can do whatever I want. It's like,
Yeah,
that
Palpatine
sucks,
2.0.
man.
Well,
Like,
it's even
destroys
worse.
all canon.
It gets even worse than that. So there's a couple. It happens a couple times. Kayla might be able to correct me on this one, where he turns into the Avatar and Katara has to calm him down to get him out of the Avatar state. Correct? Like it happens like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
And-
the episode 1, then in like the Earth Bender Earth Kingdom thing where they're trying to like torture Katara or whatever and Sokka to use him.
Yeah, this time instead of her going to calm him down, they literally just point at him and say he's evil, he's bad. It's like, what? He just needs someone he's close to calm him down. It's like they missed the entire point of them
Why have
having
emotion? Why have
Yeah.
payoffs? You know, who needs it?
It's so
Why treat kids like kids? Hey.
Why
He's the
cast good
Avatar.
actors?
Yeah, that's the one thing that like threw me off a little bit, and it's like for somebody that doesn't give a shit about the world, it seems a little bit silly. Like anyway, like some of the stuff they're doing. So I could get maybe if the acting felt a little off. I'm gonna forgive like child actors for the most part usually
I'm not.
because most of them suck. So I can like see past that. But like for everybody else, it just seemed like every interaction between Katara and Sokka, is that the other
Sokka,
character's
yeah.
name? Just I don't know. It just seemed rough to
They have
me.
such a good dynamic in the animation. It's so easy because it's that brother sister and Sokka, his sexism, which everyone knows by the way they cut out for the live action. But they've got such this perfect brother sister dynamic. And when Aang comes in, there's so much charisma. Sokka has such charisma. I'd say, like I've watched so much media. I've seen so many shows, movies. Sokka is one of the most charismatic characters out there. And just the way he comes off, it endears you to him so much. He's so funny. He's hilarious. And this kid just like he looks like a monkey. He's just flies, just like
Oh,
No
Ryan,
emotion
in the
whatsoever.
animation, you love Sokka.
Canceled for racism.
Oh, Ryan would love
he's a
the
white monkey, so
animation
it's
version of
okay.
Sokka. He's a meat-eating sexist that just talks shit to women all the time. Ryan would love Sokka in the animation.
yeah. Ryan, you have to watch the animation. It would just the first episode, it'd suck you in. I promise.
Yeah, I mean, no, Sokka actually has a really good character development on that. It's almost like watching Ryan's relationship with Brie. He goes from hating women to absolutely loving this one chick. It's
Exactly.
fantastic.
There you go. So they basically just stole me and Bree's origin story, is what you're telling me.
Kind of,
pretty
yeah.
much.
Of course.
Hey,
No
by the way,
creativity in the
speaking
world
of-
anymore.
Speaking of the Shyamalan movie, does anyone know who produced that movie?
Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy.
You're serious.
Mhm.
Yep.
I knew that.
So when people try to defend her as a great producer, saying she produced Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park, just a reminder, she also produced Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and The Last Airbender.
Hey, hold on. Listen. Get Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Don't fucking savage it that badly, okay?
It has a good ending. That's
Kingdom-
about it.
Kingdom of the Crystal
Gosh, Shia
Skull.
LaBeouf.
The first half of it is a pretty serviceable Indiana Jones movie, I think. Kind of goes off the
agree.
rail. Yeah, as soon as they get in the jungle, it goes off the rails and there's like too many people involved and the alien thing was retarded. But it did give us a very good ending for Indiana Jones
I
character.
agree.
Okay, wait a minute.
King-
This
Kingdom
guy
of the Crystal Skull
survived a
falls
nuclear
into-
explosion in a refrigerator.
Hey, pull
You
the
ever
man's
own-
heart out. What the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Fair enough, but
he
a
jumped
nuclear
out of
explosion.
he jumped out of a fucking plane and used a
In a
life
raft.
raft and like it just perfectly fucking inflated for him to fall and not get hurt and fucking go down the rest of the way. Like, come on.
No,
We have seen-
Jones, no, parachute.
We've seen
He
some crazy
found the
shit.
holy grail that killed people who drank the wrong cup, but you got to live forever. The other one, and your problem is the refrigerator.
Oh,
Ghosts
sorry. I
who
just
suck the
thought the
life
nuke
out of
was a
ya.
little OTT myself.
It was a little like, yes, the nuked refrigerator was a little bit crazy.
No, I mean
but-
that's just
like-
how good refrigerators used to be.
That's right.
Hang on a second though. That movie falls into the same category that a lot of other early 2000s movies fall into. Like you look at movies like Superman Returns, you look at movies like Die Hard 4, like all of these movies that are part of pre 20th century franchises that are just entering the new millennium, and
Yeah.
they're kind of good and kind of bad, and they're kind of over maligned. But then it's like you see the movies that we get now that follow those movies, and it's just like, can we go back to those other movies?
Yeah,
Perhaps they're
give me a
treating you
million
too
live
harshly.
free or die hards. Are you kidding me? I like Die Hard 4. It's the problem with it is it's such a big departure from like what Die Hard was about, which was just a fucking cop who gets stuck in this crazy situation. But then, the more crazy situations you get caught in, the more crazy you have to make the fucking thing. But
Yeah,
he went from just that to, okay, this reasonably believable thing that this cop has enough training and enough will and enough smarts to be able to survive for a couple hours crawling through shafts and elevators with all these other terrorists there. And like they go from that to John McClane literally fighting like fucking fighter jets with semi trucks and shit. It's so wild stuff,
Well, not only is he fighting an F-35, by the way, is what that jet was supposed to be with the hover capabilities. He is preventing complete like power grid terrorism.
Yeah, from Timothy Oliphant. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fire sale.
Yeah.
I
can't
love
even
that
say-
movie. I love that
It's
movie.
PG-13 too, so he couldn't even say motherfucker.
Well, the theatrical one was, but there's an R-rated cut on the DVD, which is
I
way better.
personally don't
Does that show
think
you?
he
Does
would
that
have
tell you the last time I
survived
saw it?
the third movie. That sign he was holding in the third movie, he would have never survived it.
Yeah.
That would be the real ending, is just 15 minutes into Die Hard with a Vengeance. He just dies because he gets shot in Harlem. That would be an appropriate ending.
That's the realistic outcome, actually. What ends up happening is pretty, inspiring, but alas, that definitely would not happen. No.
Mexican Iron Man, what's your favorite Die Hard movie?
All of them.
Oh, Leslie Headland.
All the diehards.
Damn near all of them. But
Mike
probably
pulled a
think-
Leslie Headland.
Well, I've seen the first one. I've seen the first one probably 1,000 times. I really like Die Hard too. Like I really, really like that.
Yeah.
Like I have more fun with that second one than even the first one. So,
I really like 3. I think 3 was really,
super
really
cool and
fucking
inventive.
good.
Yeah, I thought 3 was super imaginative.
Jeremy Irons is just amazing.
Jeremy Irons is great. Racing through New York. The idea that like what the
thing that's
actual plan was and shit. Yeah.
Have you seen it lately though? Because the whole payphone thing is just weird now.
It is kind of crazy that people used to have to worry about things like that, like where you go to find a phone.
Oh, no, you're talking about my era. Right on.
Well, don't forget, there's an entire movie about a phone booth.
Yeah, Colin Farrell, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland playing a sadistic sniper.
Are there even any payphones around anymore? Like
They exist in some places.
I'm sure there are plenty in London, but
Come on, guys. I come from a time where
London.
Superman changed his outfit in a phone booth.
Yeah, where would Superman change now? That's why you.
In
That's
a
why we
drag
had a
club.
Oh, I know, I know.
modern Superman.
I know.
A drag club.
I know, in a non-gender specific bathroom.
Oh God. Super they. That's what we're gonna have.
Hey, if
to.
he was in California, that's true. I just got back from California. I was there for a month. I couldn't find a single bathroom in 30, 40 restaurants that had men and women. It was all gender neutral, and it was like taped over. And
Hey, just roll the dice and walk
Bro,
in, I guess.
Brian, I was in San Diego. Well, I was in North San Diego, LA, San Jose, Oakland, and everywhere in between. I was at probably 20 different restaurants and bars along the way. It's all taped up and it's weird.
You know, it's really weird. I went to another country for a month and all the signs just said bathroom.
Like no men or women, just bathroom.
Just bathroom.
I mean,
Oh.
that's the way to do it, I guess.
Speaking on that note, I have to say something. This was a while back, but Ryan had said why he quit watching the Supergirl show. Ironically, it was exactly my same reason. That shit happened, and I turned that shit off and was like, I'm done. I can't do this. Why? You're telling me that this thing is from another planet, right? An alien. Would they even know what the hell a transsexual is? I just got to ask that question. I mean,
Yeah, they're progressive, of course.
Yeah, like
Obviously.
the Supergirl. I hung on to the Arrowverse way past when I should have let go of it.
So did I.
I stopped watching around season 4.
But that was the only good one.
When they killed Black Canary, I gave up.
Oh, so you gave up on season 4 of Arrow.
Yes, Arrow.
I think I gave up on season 4 of Supergirl or something.
Sam Witwer, and he was the best part by far. Like Sam Witwer could actually act, so it was so cool seeing someone who could act and was intimidating and charismatic in there. I don't even know why I watched the show that long, but I did, and that's why I stopped after that. Because it was so interesting just seeing an actual character, and that's what kind of gave me the contrast. Because I was like, oh whoa, this is Sam Witwer. Everyone else is just dog shit compared to him. Why am I still watching this show? I should just go watch a good show instead.
I was so invested, right? I'm like, man, I put a lot of time into watching all of these different series over years. So I was invested in seeing how the story ends and how it played out and everything. And Supergirl to me was always basically my least favorite of those shows to watch. And when it made the shift from CBS, which is where it had its first season, to CW, you could see a shift in terms of them getting it was already a feminist show before, you know what I mean?
Became gay immediately.
Yeah, it was already the first season, definitely feminist show. Female empowerment, blah, 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 Cat, whatever her name was. But then there was a shift between that and all of a sudden it's all right, let's talk about Black Lives Matter. Let's talk about illegal immigration. All this
that
shit.
That was season 3.
Illegal aliens.
That happened in season 3 and 4.
And then it wasn't until Dreamer, I think her name is, when they brought in the trans character.
That's how I learned about trans. I was 14, I think, at the time that I watched season 4, and I never knew what a trans was.
Trans person. Jesus.
So I just thought she was a woman. I didn't know what the word trans meant, but I didn't learn till the end of season 4 that that's what that meant. I just thought that's how I learned about that. That was the whole thing.
So I
did notice though that all the illegal aliens were black. That is something I picked up on watching the show when I was younger.
I gotta ask the real question: which was the bigger catfish, that or Madam Web?
You just mean Madam Web, the movie in general?
Yeah, because I was expecting to actually, because the girls they had in it were relatively.
They covered up the best assets.
We never got to see any of it.
Yeah, all the girls on the red carpet look very good. You know what I mean? So obviously they definitely cover up Dakota Johnson for almost the entire thing.
Sydney, if I had Sydney Sweeney in a movie, those would be my best assets on display.
The problem with what they tried to do is this isn't a prequel to a fucking superhero movie, really. And so they have all of them are 18 years old or something. You're implying that they're in high school. So then what are you supposed to do with them then? What do you want? I don't know.
Hollywood standards are nowadays. I mean, I always, I'm just saying, but from what I hear reported continuously on most of y'all's channels, they all tell me, hey, Hollywood's really into, let's just say, the younger people of the world. Really disgusting.
Yeah, and then you see Sydney Sweeney on the red carpet. You're like, holy shit, she's a bombshell. And you see her in this movie, and they're trying to make her just getting out of high school, and she's mousy and insecure and everything. So it's this is not the Sydney Sweeney that was advertised to me on social media.
Or you mean the Sydney Sweeney with the 22 gun salute? Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. But Madam Web is might as well talk about that briefly. Madam Web is bad in the same way that Morbius is bad. in my opinion, which is not a surprise because it's the same fucking writers of Morbius.
It's Madaman time.
But to me, yeah, it's webbing time. That's what we thought. We thought it was webbing time when we went in there to see that cast, but instead, no, it's just napping time because from the acting to the way it was shot to the edit, even to the sound design, everything about the movie just fucking sucks. It's just a good old fashioned dog shit movie.
Well, what did you expect? Like, I knew the movie was going to be bad as soon as I saw the first trailer, and you got to the point where she says, "This reminds me of when my mom was studying spiders in the Amazon." Right?
What did I expect? I expected to mute the damn movie and be Pee Wee Herman for 30 fucking minutes. I didn't even get to do that.
And by the way, what I just said was probably more emotion. I put more emotion into that than Dakota Johnson did, but I'm just saying.
Morbius, you had Damon Targaryen and Jared Leto in a movie acting together.
Yeah,
you had like acting and stuff and charisma. You don't have that in Madam Web.
Not really.
Just to help out Sleazy on this one, dude, just give it about another, like, I don't know, month. Look up Pornhub, Madam Web. You'll get your wish.
Axel Braun will hit,
and that'll probably have better acting, better costuming, and better everything than the movie that actually just came out from Hollywood.
I used one of the hub thumbnails from the Snow White movie in one of my Snow White videos. That got awesome views. It's almost like people wanted to see that.
Not surprising. Jackson Cagle for $2. Thank you. I appreciate that. It also looks, we got an update. We have the next season of Netflix Avatar: The Last Airbender. We got a casting announcement. Lizzo's going to be in it. They're taking a page out of Jon Favreau. At least that's what I think this means. The Last Chairbender.
I can't even tell if you're trolling or not.
There. What?
I would believe that was real.
He's going to play that giant Avatar spirit at the end of season 1.
Avatar: The Last
she'd be
Donut.
perfect casting for that. Just make her blue, and it'd work. Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Buffet.
The Last Buffet.
Just
Avatar: The Last
Avatar.
Heterosexual.
I just got a question now. Okay, they're trying to do this live action adaptation. What are they going to do with bloodbending? I'm just curious. You know, I mean,
it's
that's
already
probably
set up for them to go all in feminism with that, with the way the old lady, her story, and that is, and it works so well, and it's so horrific and creepy in that episode. But it's everything set up perfect for them to take away, as they did with already. We've seen edit out all the good stuff, replace it with bad stuff. That's the method.
But the one character arc that Katara has in that is the willingness to not use the most evil form of bending, which is in Avatar. The question is, are they going to actually show humanity, or are they going to actually just show, you know, the true evils of what feminism truly is?
They're going to have
any of it. There's going to be no conflict.
They're going to have men do it.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Now,
that's a good one.
Can you guys
no. What it's going to be is the old lady had to use the evil technique that the men had been practicing to defeat them to escape. And
she's just going to be a victim.
Yup.
Mm-hmm. Can you guys help me out here? Because I watched the Avatar series back when it came out, but I honestly don't remember much of what happened. So help me out here. So is bloodbending sort of like that universe's version of Unforgivable Curses, like Abracadabra?
Sort of, kind of. It's basically
only a few people can do it.
Yeah, it's a waterbender thing, and it's under like a full moon pretense that their powers are super amplified by the moon. So the theory is, because they're waterbenders and blood is water, well, there you go.
Are we sure it's not just like women on their periods, like based on the lunar cycle?
There'll be some analogies, I'm sure. I'm sure that.
I'd enjoy a full moon.
But then in Korra, a man can just bloodbend whenever, and he doesn't even like need the moon, and that's never explained. I mean, it's cool and stuff. It just, there's no explanation.
Indeed. See, again, Korra changed a lot of things, and if you've seen The Legend of Korra, that got way feminist by the end of it. So.
I was gonna say, I heard that one was bad. I only watched Avatar.
I liked it a lot. I can see that it's bad, but it's just something that I really enjoyed. Korra was the worst part of it by far. All the other characters were really good, and
Agreed.
I really enjoyed it. It's something where I can see that it's bad, but I've still rewatched it like a dozen times.
I really liked Aang's family dynamic, you know, because a lot of things that are missing from the, you know, just overall seen from Hollywood, I've noticed, is just a family dynamic. And Aang's family and Korra are fantastic. They're probably one of the best written dynamic of that series.
Tenzin, you could definitely equate like Tenzin and that to Paddy Constantine, like House of the Dragon. Like if in a perfect world we'd get like a live action Avatar and Korra that's like as good as like One Piece and House of the Dragon and stuff, and you could actually have those comparisons of wow, this is a really good show, good morals, good stuff moving forward, good entertainment. And it's the flip of the coin. Do we get a One Piece or do we get a live Avatar Last Airbender live action? You know, it's who knows.
Do we get One Piece or do we get that horrible Tokyo Ghoul that we got
Cowboy
however
Bebop.
many years ago?
Cowboy Bebop.
To me, I'll be honest, like I'd never watched One Piece, and like I just had no desire to it. This felt to me like, in terms of the acting, the way people interacted, a little bit of the silliness involved, that felt to me like what I was gonna see if I watched the One Piece on Netflix. Just one of the reasons I stayed away from it. Obviously, I'm not familiar with the source material for either of those things, but yeah,
But
I
you
don't
didn't
know.
watch it?
No, I didn't watch One Piece.
Dude,
Oh,
I
anime
didn't.
does.
One Piece show was actually pretty fucking good.
Dude, I found it out. Okay, you know me. I'm like you. I can't stand anime and manga in general.
Anime's gay as hell.
Okay.
I agree. I agree.
So,
It does
but
have
I
an-
saw One Piece and I freaking surprised the shit out of me. I really enjoyed that thing.
It does have, like, the genre itself does have that inherent sort of silliness to it, just like
Yeah.
anything from the 60s has that inherent campiness to it.
Which is, I think, one of the
But,
things that makes it tough to do these live actions for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Because how do you turn anime bullshit into live action? That's exactly what it is.
I know
Because
but
there's
the
always anime bullshit.
Yeah, Japanese writers have a very peculiar way of writing stuff that we here in the West just can't get right. Like, the last thing I want is something like a live action adaptation of Metal Gear Solid, because they won't get that at all.
Dude, video game shows and movies, it's been proven that Hollywood can't fucking do them, and they haven't been able to do them for a long fucking time.
They'll
Because they
take
don't
a
take the
character
job
like
seriously.
Meryl, who has a magnificent ass, and put her in a pair of baggy pants.
Like,
What are you
can
saying, Patty?
imagine-
Like, any time they've done it, they very rarely take their job seriously. Like, I would say One Piece is probably the one time where you had everyone working together. Like, all of the elements were sort of in place. You had the original creator, you had people who were passionate about the source material, you had people who wanted to be actors who actually wanted to portray the characters as they were portrayed in the anime, and just all that came together and worked. Very rarely do you get that. You just get studios saying, "Oh, hey, we own this IP. Let's try and make some money off of it."
Well, the key difference in that one is with the One Piece, the creator was directly involved and actively
Exactly.
told them to eat shit. No, you can't change that.
Well,
No,
and
very
not
rarely
only
do you
that,
get
so
something out of
I
it.
actually saw an interview with one of the creative leads for the One Piece adaptation. If you hate anime, you're not going to watch the channel. The channel's Nux Taku. He uses an animated avatar because he doesn't want to
love
show his
Nux.
face. Nux
Nux
is
is
incredible.
Nux is
But
awesome.
he interviewed one of the creative leads of the show, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, we are doing." He essentially, in so many words, said, "We're doing everything possible to avoid turning out like the other shows." Because while this creative lead had brightly colored hair, sounded very effeminate, he was like, "Look, we're not trying to do anything like that. We are trying to get people who don't like anime into One Piece because One
And good
Piece
luck
is
with
that
that.
good of a show."
They did it. It worked.
I know. That's what I'm pointing out. Like, this is one of the few times we've seen people say something and then do what they say, right? Because we get a lot of lip service and talking out of the corners of people's mouths.
Well, I'll contradict that because I actually covered a lot of articles where the producers for Netflix were actively saying we tried to change stuff, but Oda said no. You can't do that. I think that they were actively trying to put all that garbage in there, and he was just like, "It's not happening. No, you can't do that."
Proof that gatekeeping at the right time works.
Has anybody seen Blue-Eyed Samurai?
I've heard it. I've heard good things about it, but I've never watched it. It's an anime, so no.
Well, I know it's not your favorite there, Ryan, but I'm about 3 episodes in, and I've been watching it with my lady, you know, and she's like you, Ryan. She is not very tolerant of the whole anime thing. This is actually one she likes, which is shocking to me.
It's good to know that your girlfriend's like me.
Well, in respect of, you know, the hatred of, you know, anything animated. She's just not into that shit. But
Ryan, you should really watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I swear to God, dude. Like that. Even if you don't,
that was on
anime,
Cartoon Network back in the day.
Toonami. Let's get it right. Toonami.
What?
It was its own thing.
Well, wasn't that on Cartoon Network though?
They leased out the Cartoon Network broadcast channel.
Okay.
At a certain time slot.
And as much as I'll agree with Ryan, I am not a Dragon Ball Z fan.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, you are fucking Vegeta, dude. There's no question about that one.
I am.
Vegeta or fajita?
You are 100% Vegeta, man. That
What does
dude's
that
always
mean?
in a
Should I
bad
be
mood.
insulted by that?
No, Vegeta's like one of
No.
the baddest asses in the fucking series, dude. But he's like always cranky. He's always pissed off at something. You don't get in his way. He'll just wipe you out. You know, that kind of shit.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's
don't
very
understand
racist.
that
Or no,
reference.
that's the other guy. Fuck. Oh my God, what's his name? Friesen.
Hello.
Friesen is the racist.
Well,
Oh, Frieza, he's also
Yeah,
a
Frieza,
Vegeta.
yeah,
No,
Frieza.
no,
Jesus Christ,
Ryan's
that makes-
Vegeta, man. He's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
this ultimate badass that just doesn't tolerate shit. He's always in a bad mood. You don't fuck with him, and there you go.
I am typically in a bad mood. You're not wrong. So I guess I'll accept the Vegeta comparisons.
It's not an insult.
Is there
It's
any
just
character in
funny.
that show that laughs all the time? Because that would be a good fit for Jeremy.
no.
Krillin.
God damn it.
Well, there's
No.
one in
The
DC,
best character of all
technically.
time
but-
is Piccolo. There is no other.
Is that the fucking
Gohan's
green?
father.
Is that green fuck?
Yeah, the green dude.
Jackson Cagle for $5. Lizzo can bend stuff. Yeah, when she sits on it, basically. So, not exactly a surprise there.
So she's an earthbender.
An earthbender, yeah. there you go.
Specializing in gravity bending.
Yeah, I just like there's some things where people are like, hey, you should get into this from like God. Like if you tell me to get into Warhammer 40K, it's like
Hell
Oh,
no.
you actually like that, Ryan. It's all about war and destruction and
I
chaos.
probably would, but it's like
Lots of racism.
Dude, no, Ryan, don't even. One of my
Hold on.
one of my best
Ryan?
friends is into Warhammer 40K, dude. He's trying to get me into that shit, dude. It is a vast universe. You'll never come back out. It's too much.
You
that's
you
kind of
gotta
how I'm at
pick.
with it.
You've got to pick what you actually are interested in because it's a massive franchise at this point. There's pick anything, any sci-fi genre, and you can drill down and find 100 books on that specific thing that you'll absolutely love. But you got to have a special level of autism for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to me, it's like if I was to get into that now, I feel like it would be so I don't have time. It'd be like so overwhelming.
It would literally be like jumping off of a boat into an ocean and deciding what island you're going to swim to. It is going to take that long.
Well, at last count, if I recall, there's like 350 novels available for the Warhammer 40K
Hold on.
universe. or something like
350 available that aren't out of print.
that.
God.
No lie. This is just a small collection. I want to say I've read 400 40K books.
It's pretty
It is-
vast.
Yeah, and that's not even all of them. That's a small portion because this got 40K is
Ryan needs to
old.
get into Warhammer 40K like I need to get back with my Puerto Rican ex-girlfriend. No.
Your
No,
Yeah.
Ryan, you should actually watch or give Last Airbender a chance though, because like I hate anime. Last Airbender isn't.
I
anime,
watched
first
the
of all.
first
Like,
couple
it's
episodes
Western.
of this Netflix one. I feel like
No,
No,
okay.
no,
And that's what's so
no.
bad about it. Imagine all the people out there who haven't seen the animation and who are going to watch this live action, and then that turns it off from them, and they think, "Oh yeah, this is shit." So the animation is going to be shit too, which just sucks because it tarnishes the brand so much, and they do that with everything. Like you could have a good original product, and they'll rebrand it and make a new one, and then it just tarnishes the old by comparison.
Well,
guys,
and the thing about Avatar is that it's not Eastern animation; it's Western, right? It is Western
It's Nickelodeon.
storytelling animated.
It's not gay.
Fuck.
Well,
It's still
think of
pretty
it-
gay.
think of
it's
this, Ryan.
still
I mean,
pretty gay.
as
It is a
passionate-
kid's cartoon.
Hey guys,
There's no moaning. There's no moaning every 5 seconds like in anime. Okay, you don't get any of that.
Okay,
Bro,
so
there's no
someone
fan
discovered
service.
what the hentai tag was. I see. Good job.
You know, Dave Filoni was involved with the original cartoon. Yeah.
Now I really
Last
don't want to
Airbender?
watch it.
God,
Serious.
I
How
hope he didn't have a
much?
big impact.
No,
I
it
think he
didn't- no
directed it. I
impact.
think he directed some of it or something. I know that about Dave Filoni.
Well, it just shows how fallen from grace a lot of these people truly are. I mean, it's like,
Or how much supervision from real talent they required.
Mhm.
He's
true
credited
story.
with directing 9 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Wow.
Well, it didn't show. It did not show through at all.
Yeah, like he
So
oversight had their ducks in a row there.
yeah,
didn't-
basically
didn't
the
you-
first season, I think.
Yeah, didn't you know that Ryan Johnson directed
news.
an episode of Breaking Bad? Yeah,
Yeah, so he
still
directed
there.
9. He directed 9 episodes of the first season. 1, 2, 6, 10, 13, 14, 17, and 20.
Those are all pretty good episodes too.
Those are pretty good episodes.
I'm just trying to give Dave Filoni a little bit of credit, even though I usually shit all over
you
him.
know what? If he could go back to his old ways, we might be able to have good shit.
Were there any wolves in Avatar: The Last Airbender? Maybe he was thinking about that fucking that ox that he's riding. Maybe he was thinking about that for his furry dreams.
It's a bison, first off, okay?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Appa is a bison.
I don't give a fuck.
Hey Ryan, so you said that
How did that fucking thing survive for 100 years? By the way,
How did he survive for 100 years?
He
He's
was
the Avatar.
cryogenically frozen.
Limbs.
Well,
Yeah.
the bison was right next to him, so in theory,
Yeah.
he just wrapped them all around whatever special juice that he had. So there you go.
I thought
Fair
they
enough.
smelled bad on the outside.
You get 7 inches deep.
Oh,
God.
Hey, going back to Warhammer for a second. So what is it? Is it like books or is it video games?
it
It's all of the
originally
above.
started out as a dice role-playing game, much like Dungeons and Dragons, which it has 2 different versions of it. There's the 40K universe, which is basically futuristic, and then there's the fantasy universe, which is a take on D&D, which has basically the same concepts, just a hell of a lot more violent.
Because part of me is interested in getting into the lore of Warhammer, given how we got this Henry Cavill series coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be the futuristic, which is the 40K version, which is basically 40,000 years into Earth's possible future.
Okay.
Current timeline,
Mhm.
because it references stuff that has happened in our timeline.
Because
Yeah,
I saw
Chris-
an image of like a Warhammer spaceship that had like pirate sails on there, and I thought,
Oh, yeah.
wow, this actually
Chris,
looks kind of cool.
I can derail this entire show for the next 9 hours. DM me on the side. We'll
This
talk
is
about
what-
it,
this
and I'll
is-
give you an
This
entry
is
point.
exactly what I'm talking about, Ryan. Sleazy hit the nail on the head. When my bro Elijah Snow comes down from Columbia, South Carolina, and he hangs out with me on the weekend, dude, like Ryan does not have time for this. You know what's going to happen if he goes into Warhammer 40K? Here's what's going to happen. We're not
It'll be a
making our
40K
videos.
channel.
it's
We're not going to get our video. Sports Wars Falls. The
Yeah.
Daily Show with Jeremy, you can kiss that Daily Show goodbye. It's going to be game over.
I have
Dude,
to agree with them because I've been a
yeah.
fan of Warhammer for 35 years, guys. So I'm telling you, I've been a fan since I was 17 years old. This universe is deep.
I'm just gonna
And-
watch Henry Cavill's adaptation
Yeah,
and
that's
just
it.
say that's it. That's what all I need to know.
Basically, the day what Ryan goes in, RK Nation falls. The minute Ryan goes into Warhammer
Hey,
40K.
I'll still give him money every month for plastic crack. Don't worry.
Hey, I like Fire Nation. That's so far what I've seen. 3 episodes of Avatar: Last Airbender. Fire. I think the Fire dudes are the coolest.
Hail the
You'd love
Fire
them in the
Nation.
animation. They're all about purity of blood and racial supremacy and stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
And
So they are like
Zhao,
they're like the Slytherins.
They're exactly like Slytherin.
But
in a better
There's
way, in
no
a more
Warren
fleshed out
Boss
way.
thing say.
And
Yeah, in
Ryan,
a
get
much more
this.
fleshed out
In the
way.
story of Avatar, there's this thing called Sozin Comet that only comes like every 100 years that amplifies all the firebenders' powers to like god tier fucking shit, dude.
So is that the comet they mentioned in that?
Yeah, man, and in
Yeah.
like one of the final, like in the animated series, dude, this Fire Lord dude just goes balls to the fucking wall. It's one of the dopest things you'll see in an animation, dude. You'd
And
love it.
in the live action, they didn't give them the white masks. The white masks are cool as hell. the KKK ones from
Mm.
the animation, and they look so cool. And they've got like the red hoods and uniforms.
Okay.
But in the show, they don't have any of
obviously
that.
they can't use those.
Well, they could tone it down a
Why
bit.
can't you show that to show somebody that are evil? That like the way they portrayed basically is just the Fire Nation full of fucking evil dudes. Now maybe that's just who
Not
the
in the
leader is at
animation.
that point, but that's what they showed on the live action so far.
So I
far.
heard, I heard that they are gonna get rid of the war in Ba Sing Se completely.
Oh
And
my
I'm
God.
like,
of course.
I'm
Why?
like, you are missing the whole point
no.
of that episode, because that whole episode is teaching kids about what gaslighting is from the government.
Oh, it totally, dude. There's a lot of that actual
Mhm.
series when it comes to bossing. Say that is like very anti-government.
Oh,
Funny you
yeah.
mention that.
But they've literally become the "there is no war in Ba Sing Se" meme.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yo.
Well, what's the name of the lady that greets?
Julie.
Yeah,
Julie.
man, and she is literally just like a robot. Hi, I am Julie. Welcome to Bossing Say. And you talk to her, and she just like does exactly what most these leftist type people do. They just like bounce shit back at you, and even though it's a yes and no question, and you keep getting it bounced up, and then you get frustrated, and then you end up in jail somehow. That's
And
kind of
creepy
what
smile.
literally they say in this particular series. So it'd be interesting. to
Jet's
see it.
Ryan. If Ryan went to Bossing Say, he'd be Jet, and he'd get the same treatment.
Oh, we'd be all fucked in
We'd all,
Bossing Say. Are you kidding?
dude. There's a reason I don't show my face on the internet.
That kind of reminds me of that I'm currently delving into the Star Trek rabbit hole, and right now I'm watching an episode from Deep Space Nine from season 3 where they like go back into the past to guess what, the year 2024.
Uh-oh.
And they
You're
go
looking at the
Yeah, I heard
sanctuary
you.
district.
Yeah.
Oh
concentration
no.
camps and like sanctuaries where criminals are placed into, and I just thought this is modern day California.
Dude,
Star Trek
it's
back in the
prophecy.
90s.
No.
what it
It can't
is.
be modern day California. I was just there. The criminals run the streets, and all the Mexicans coming across the border can do whatever the F they want. So
What about you? Did you just get away with anything you wanted there?
maybe I should have just stayed. I could go into a Walgreens and get $1,000 worth of shit every day, and
What?
You could be a king there.
yeah, I should have stayed there and been a drug lord kingpin. And why did I come? No, I'm kidding. Hey, I gotta run. I gotta go do Georgia's stream. But thanks for having me,
Thanks,
Ryan. And
Bye, Mike.
thanks. Hopefully, I'll see you in Vegas. But I'm not sure if I'll make it. But hopefully, I'll see you. In
Oh,
Vegas.
you better. I better
I'll
see you
try
there,
to make it.
motherfucker.
Hail
Hey,
Mexican Iron Man.
Bye,
Can't wait to
everybody.
see you taco.
Yeah.
Bye. Make sure to
Bye.
subscribe to Mexican Iron Man, the world's biggest YouTuber.
Well, I have been for
Yeah.
like 4 years or something like that.
There you go. Yeah, what were we just fucking talking about? Other than
Bossing Say. that we
Everything's
bossing
garbage
say.
now.
Modern
What is
day
that, a city?
California.
Hey,
We were
one
talking
thing
about
that's not
something-
garbage. One thing that's not garbage. Helldivers 2.
Yes.
That's a fun fucking game, dude. Like I'm not a very high level, but holy shit, do I love just dropping into the Terminid control and shooting some fucking bugs.
Dude, that game is so good. It's there's a bunch of things I've noticed. It's a difficult game. And the one person that came out as being like an air quotes toxic player is getting fucking doxxed. I don't know if anybody else saw that.
Oh, I did not hear about that.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
they
this
did that.
one player dropped in with a bunch of randos, and they were either recording it or live streaming it. And at the very end, when they're about to extract, he kills them all and dips out. And they're like, they put it out, and everybody's sharing the dude's name. They're like, if you see
Oh
him,
my
it's
God.
on site. It's on site. Get rid of him. And I'm like, that's great.
That's kind of lame.
That's kind of it, but it's on brand for the lore.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, quick
And everybody's saying it's
explanation, guys.
satire.
What
it's
is
just-
this game?
Starship
Alright, so-
Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
It's a parody on Starship Troopers, ODST, and 40K. And I say it's a
Ah.
parody because it's not satire like everybody's saying. It's making fun of it. It's a survival extraction. You drop in, you kill whoever the bad guys are, and you get out. And it's just fun.
Yeah, it's over the top like nationalism and stuff like that. The intro cutscene is a guy convincing you to join the Helldivers, which is essentially the paramilitary force.
The hold on, the intro is great. It's some like random DEI paper filler watching his family get butchered by bugs and then joining the Helldivers.
Yeah, right. And the training is hilarious too because they drop a cardboard cutout of your brother in arms. Your bond is forged in warfare, and then they blow the cardboard cutout and says, "Okay, now call in another Helldiver because that shit happens all the time."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't even seen any fucking gameplay from it, which is how wild it is. Does your camera automatically track your movements, Sleazy? The fuck is that? Okay. Yeah, it's like I feel like out of the corner of my eye I've been seeing it move, but I can't fucking tell if that's happening or not.
I do that so everybody like draws their eye to my camera and focuses on me because I'm a narcissist.
You're just
I
going
know.
schizo, Ryan.
Okay,
Join
this,
the
I
rest
thought
of
I was like I wasn't sure because usually when I'm talking I don't look. See, I just saw it move again, but I don't really look at the camera typically. I look, but I don't look at you guys either because it makes it look like I'm looking down. I usually like pick an area in between. So I felt like I saw him moving, but I wasn't sure.
okay, I feel like the leader of the Arcane Nation needs tracking camera motion stuff, man.
Don't you
His
do
would
that,
be
and
all
then
over
one
the
day we'll
place.
convince him to get an avatar like Gundam.
You just
Dude,
need to get a
I know
camera
guys that
dangling
I know
in front
guys
of the
that
screen,
I know guys that
staring at
can
the camera,
draw
staring
it.
at your screen.
God.
I know guys that can draw the avatar, rig the avatar, and animate the fucking thing.
Can we
And
put him in a white
I
uniform?
can get you family and friends discounts.
Okay,
'Cause
when we
guess
can
what?
get Ryan's camera to just give us a proper skin tone, then we'll be good, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're still working on it not being super yellow. I've got
I'm
a
trying to get mine
Logitech
less
Brio.
white.
Fucking jaundice
Yeah.
man over there.
I've got a Logitech Brio. That's all I got.
Bro,
So,
Logitech C, what is it? C, let me pull it up in my
390 or
settings.
320 or something.
C922 Pro.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all you need. It's a 1080 webcam. It looks great. Like, you don't need anything better than that, honestly.
No, but realistically, my office is a mess. I paint in here, and I've got my work office, and the NVIDIA broadcast works great, so it zooms in, and I can't get the tracking to turn off, so it is what it is.
There you go. That works.
I did,
Yeah,
however, I did want to bring up Helldivers Steam charts. As of 37 minutes ago, 383,558 players.
Yeah,
Which
during
is
peak hours, it has
299,000 more than Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's Suicide Squad
Suicide
killed the
Squad,
Justice
as
League
of
at?
32 minutes ago, 896.
Wow, they've had a surge. over
Yeah,
the
I know,
weekend.
because a
What
couple
can you
days
fucking
ago,
do?
it was down to 260.
Yeah,
during
they're-
peak hours, Helldiver has as many players as Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, and
I'm only
it's got a
as-
lower barrier to entry than Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it
as
really does.
a veteran DC guy here. What they did to Kevin Conroy's character is
Oh yeah.
I don't have words for it. I truly don't. I mean, it's just like that is seriously most disrespectful shit I have ever seen a company this outright do.
And like many
Because
people,
not
when
the
I
first
saw
time.
when I saw that scene for the first time, all I thought of was Joel all over again. Let's just take this character that everyone loves and just shoot him right in the face at the hands of Harley Quinn, because we got shoehorn Harley Quinn into every freaking thing, just like how we have to shoehorn Ahsoka into everything. God, and the game looks terrible. Like the graphics for a 2023 game look like shit compared to something like Arkham Knight, which came out 9 years ago, and the graphics are 1,000 times better.
I don't think the graphics are that bad. I think the game is absolute trash, but I don't think the graphics are
I think it's the facial animations that detract from the visual fidelity and the visual noise in combat. Because if we're looking at it objectively, yes, you can tell it's on a modern engine, right? The game, like what little gameplay there is relatively smooth, right? The combat, you can see there are spots where it could go in depth, but they just I watched Mahler play it. It is a fucking just hodgepodge of different mechanics that it seemed like the devs wanted to flesh out, but the publisher wouldn't let them because the publisher was more focused on making sure that the store was the most functioning part of the game.
Yeah,
Well,
they
to
didn't have
me,
time to do it or something.
Yeah,
It
honestly,
made me
it
think of
goes.
Crisis on Infinite Earths because we got to see the live action Kevin Conroy
Yeah.
getting, the same treatment by Kate Kane, and so now we've got like the animation version. So we've got, two different mediums of Kevin Conroy's Batman just being taken down by a woman. Just, one version he's kicked into the thing and electrocuted, and then now it's shot in the head. Might be raped next, who knows?
Well, to me, it goes on a deeper note. When you look at Batman, ultimately, what is Batman? He's a symbol. He is a meaning of justice, of a person that avenges people that are down, that have been persecuted, that are, been criminalized. He is basically an avatar to people that have no hope. When they see his symbol, it literally illuminates the sky and says, "Here, I am here to help you."
Yeah, it's like what they say in Batman Begins: as Bruce Wayne, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be everlasting.
Exactly. And when you literally just desecrate a hero, and it wasn't just him that they did it to, it was the Flash,
They
it
pissed on
was
his corpse.
Superman. What are we talking about here? We're talking about literally the desecration of the heroic symbol.
Yeah, and then these developers have the frickin' temerity to say, "Oh, don't worry, in season 2, the Justice League are gonna come back." Shut up.
Yeah,
You
I
had
think
your
like
chance, you blew it. You can't come back from this.
I think that it would have been received a little bit differently. Say if the plot, instead of killing them all and that's the end of the fucking game, and then by season 3, like 9 months down the road, oh, Batman actually comes back, you bring him back or something. It's too late at that point. If it had been something like, hey, we kill the Justice League, then we realize we actually need them, and they use Lazarus pits to bring them back to life, and then they all fight together at the end or something, I think you could like maybe get over like the way that Batman was treated in the middle of the game or something if they end up having like needing him to save the day. But the problem is you can't save that for a DLC a year from now. It's not going to matter. Like all people care about is like what you did in that moment, because that's what the game was.
Unless you're Doctor Strange and have resurrection powers to literally, dig Kevin Conroy from his fucking grave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think in a different timeline,
already did it right. Injustice did it right by putting it in an alternate universe and saying this is just a side story. Your original characters are safe and sound in this universe. The problem is this is the canonical ending to the Arkham universe.
Yes, that's the
and I think in a different timeline where we didn't have all this crazy nonsense around our superheroes, it could have been a fun, edgy game. But the problem is that's all they do now is kill the heroes. That's all they've ever done for the last 3-4 years. Utterly destroy it in one way or another.
Well, and then you see the picture of these two ladies, and let's just loosely call them that are part of Sweet Baby Stink. Well, I'm not going to confirm nor deny. Okay, sir. I'm just going to say.
Well, according to Kalen, he didn't even know what a tranny was until a few years ago.
Until you watched Supergirl.
Yeah.
The thing that killed me and Ryan. It did.
Yeah.
Supergirl killed us, man. But anyway,
one episode that finally made me give up on that terrible show.
I gave up halfway through the first episode.
First episode of the series.
First halfway through the first episode of the whole series of Supergirl, I saw black gay Jimmy Olsen. I was like, "Fuck this!"
He's not gay.
I was gonna say he's not gay.
No, he's just black.
Okay.
He's just black. All right. He's not black and gay.
They write him out because he's straight. That's gotta be why. Because like season 3, he's just gone.
Well, they hadn't got progressive enough by that time.
He becomes the Guardian, right? And he's like, there's an episode where I think there's like someone gets upset because it's like a black man fighting crime, or he's like worried about getting discovered that's a black man behind it because people won't feel the same way. Some weird fucking dumb BLM shit. God, that fucking series is bad.
It makes it ironic though, man, because me and you, Ryan, we held out. We did. We persevered. We went through it. We survived most of those episodes, and then they slammed us with the thing that the tranny alien, and we just had to call it quits at that point. That was the deal breaker. I mean, I just couldn't understand it. My whole thing was just like, okay, this person is from another alien universe. what the hell would they even know about what a transsexual is truly, unless that's their thing, and then they're bringing, I don't know.
I mean, I guess aliens are very progressive. I don't know.
I think it's funny that they identify with bugs and Helldivers too. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. That's been the weirdest thing.
Yeah, what is that all about?
They sympathize with the bad guys. That's literally what it is.
Well, because these writers are the actual bad guys.
Well, Ryan, we're the bad persecutors. Okay, now to give context to this, in the movie Starship Troopers, apparently, and Shad did a really hilarious video about this, by the way, but shout out to Shad. Basically, what they're saying is, in the movie Starship Troopers, there's a Mormon colony that goes to this world that supposedly is inhabited by these bug aliens. They call them arachnids. And I guess because of the Mormons being there, it like pisses off the bugs for whatever reason. And now they're like waging war by like hurling asteroids at us, which one finally hits Earth and it pisses the humans off. And now it's smash bugs. But they go to this world called Kandathu, which is the home world of these insects, and they get their asses handed to them like big time in the movie, which is hilarious. If you've not watched Starship Troopers, I highly recommend it. If you just like watching people get their asses handed to them by insects, it's
so
great
fucking
fun.
bad that it's good.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm doing my part.
Yeah, exactly. It's made by the same guy who made RoboCop in the 80s. So if that gives you any idea.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
There are differences between the book and the movie. I like how they changed the bugs in the movie, because in the book they're just spiders with lasers, which is really weird. But
Yeah.
the movie, and I think the director pointed out that he only read like the first 2 chapters of the book and doesn't understand the book, but accidentally kind of gets how the government is set up. And I say accidentally because he doesn't quite understand it, because in the book, it's a libertarian dream, right? You don't have to be a citizen, and you can make a life for yourself where you're rich as shit, right? Rico's parents are extremely wealthy, and they're not citizens. And because the government is hands off until something like this happens, where something kills a ton of people. They're like, okay, we have to go to war, because they're all war vets. They've all seen people die, and they don't want to do that to other people. But somehow they're like, the bugs are the good guys. What the hell? No.
It comes from a natural hive mind mentality. Like, because the bugs are a hive mind. Seriously. They think the same way as the fucking bugs. Isn't it ironic that communists always identify with fucking evil hive mind insects?
Okay, add real world context to that. Gays for Palestine.
Yeah, that will work out. I wonder how someone like Hassan Piker will handle an alien invasion by bugs.
Oh, you mean the fucking trust fund, baby?
Yeah. If it's anything like a real job, probably not too well.
Gary's busy roasting his ass right now. Apparently,
bro, I have an update for you. He doesn't just get up and walk away now. He overlays recorded video of him.
Yeah, his editor, when he gets up and leaves, his editor splices in basically just an image of him sitting there staring like,
yeah, because he's so fucking stupid he can't run his own stream. That's what I've noticed. A lot of like gamers and shit
talk while my mommy serves me chicken McNuggets.
Listen, streaming's hard, okay? That's why Gary has so many problems, right? There's a lot of boomer tech problems that happen. I just use StreamYard, so I don't have any problems.
Literally about 20 minutes before, we got on this stream, I just heard that Chrissy Meyer got pepper sprayed by some asshole.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah, like apparently at her comedy show, all I know is I haven't talked to her or anything, but based on what was on Twitter is that I don't like, it's like somebody just pepper sprayed the fucking like area, right? So I don't think it was like someone came up to Chrissy and pepper sprayed her in the face. I think it was like released in the area. Which is fucked up.
Either way,
just to put it in perspective, so people didn't think that somebody was coming up to her and like spraying her in the face with it.
To do that when a pregnant woman is even remotely in the area, what kind of piece of shit do you seriously have to be?
Yeah, tough guy.
Well, they don't view a pregnant woman as carrying a child. Simple.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
Point taken, man.
Yeah, they don't
Even though under the law, killing a pregnant woman is charged as a double homicide.
Yeah,
that's a nice loophole.
Yeah, it's a really fucked up thing for anybody to do. And unfortunately, it's like not surprising, but it does really suck. So I'm glad she and everybody else was there is okay though.
Seriously.
Yeah, and unfortunately, because she lives in the New York, New Jersey area, where the criminals get rewarded and the innocent people get convicted, I don't see whoever did this getting properly punished. Because
I got a question about that whole New York thing and California. Speaking of, have you all seen the movies Escape from New York and Escape from LA? Is it seeming to me that that's literally becoming fucking prophecy over here or something? Because all I'm waiting for is like a big wall to go right up around all these states, and we just house all the criminals in there. There you go. Have fun with it.
Dude, you
want 2024, baby. Build that wall.
I'm waiting for Snake Plissken to come in there, and just take over shit, man. It's like, wow. I never thought. And speaking of that DS9 thing that somebody brought up earlier,
that was me.
Sanctuary District. It literally seems that between those two genres of movies that the reality of it is literally coming true.
Yeah, it's quite scary how accurate the predictions are for certain things that came out in like the 80s and 90s.
I was going to bring up another one, the 1997 movie The Second Civil War.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
For a second, I thought you were going to bring up 1992 Space Movie.
No.
Oh, no.
I thought he was going to bring up the Netflix CSA movie.
No, it's called The Second Civil War. It's got a lot of huge fucking names in it, but it's a relatively unknown movie because it just wasn't very popular at the time. But the movie,
probably bombed.
Yeah, in the movie, LA is a completely Hispanic culture, right? They don't speak English. New York is Chinese, right? They speak English, but that,
But Barry, yeah.
But Barry, yeah. And and Idaho and it basically goes to war with the federal government because they won't accept refugees. Right? And in the movie, the federal government, like the president's debating how they're going to try and get other states to their side. And they're like, oh, well, New York will side with us. No, the Chinese side with Idaho.
Well, they have the potatoes, man. Come on.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious. There are here, hold on. Let me pull up the IMDb page because the cast. Let's see. You've got Beau Bridges, James Earl Jones,
Phil Hartman's in it.
Phil Hartman, Dennis Leary, Ron Perlman.
Jesus Christ.
Did Ron Perlman ever say, "You don't say gay"?
Ron Perlman's a reporter for a news station in the show.
Oh, bullshit. Ron Perlman is a reporter.
I know.
We all have to give respect to the voice of Vader.
But yeah, James Earl Jones is in the movie. Like it's kind of a good movie, but it's got that Nostradamus effect to it.
Well, we've got the actual Civil War movie coming out in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, because that's going to be
funny. You should mention that. I was going to ask everybody what their opinion is about the timing of said movie.
Well, I think it was made 2 years ago, so it's like,
oh well, I didn't know.
Of course it is. It's a fucking movie, right? It's like it's been in production for years, just like anything else. So, I don't think there's anything to it. Now. Is there a possibility they might have wanted it to come out in election year? Yeah, maybe, sure, I guess. But my assumption is that thing has been in the works at least for 2 years, probably longer.
Well, yeah. So. I mean, how long has Tim Pool been spouting off about this shit? And Hollywood people sometimes listen to him. Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, and like he just brought up, obviously there was a Civil War movie in the fucking 90s, So yeah. I don't. Yeah. I tend to think there's nothing. People are like, oh, it's like that's a funny. I remember when the first trailer for that came out, people were like they're trying to program you, and it's like, how often am I listening to these podcasts where you say there's going to be a civil war? You've been selling like dry buckets of food for the Civil War for 2 years, but this movie coming out's like programming people. It's like,
Well,
Yeah.
guys, I lived
Or-
through, millennium thing too. What, 1999,
Y2K.
2000? Yeah,
Y2K.
I've lived through 2012. Apparently, the
Yup.
Mayan calendar was supposed to spell the end of days.
Oh, that was a shit
the-
movie.
I'm
Well,
50
my-
years old. I'm still here, so let's see what's next, guys. Fuck
In
it,
my
man.
defense of buying emergency food for months is because I actually saw what happened after Katrina and have had weeks after hurricanes where it's hard to get food and water.
Yeah,
So
there's legitimate reasons. Like it's the,
Yeah,
the
100%.
message that's being used to sell the product.
yeah, sometimes, yeah. And I don't particularly care. Like Tim Pool selling food, like that's
Yeah,
perfectly fine. I
whatever.
don't don't give a shit.
I don't like his show.
I've got a fucking bug out bag. I've got shit just in case shit goes down. I think everybody should have some sort of plan, whether it's because of a fucking civil war, because of some other sort of natural disaster. Who fucking knows, right? I think everybody should be prepared. But
We've got them out here in the middle. We've got shit like that out here in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, I think we'll see what the Civil War movie is like. It's A24, right? This is one of their first big like blockbuster movies, or what could be like a blockbuster movie from them.
It's an interesting concept where it could be done if it wasn't like overly politicized and compared to how things are now.
Yeah.
It could be done cool. Like that could even be like a cool series of movies. It's like a take on like a civil war and like relate it to obviously the actual states, but don't relate it to actual people. And don't relate
Yeah.
it to actual like current events. Make it more of like a fantasy.
The California-Texas alliance.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of interesting. My gut feeling is that it's actually probably going to get a lot of criticism from both sides. I think I think we might end up seeing something like that, but we'll see what happens when it actually comes out. I don't know. Let me check really quick. David Nelson for 199 wrap Ender's Game with Starship Troopers.
That's a pretty good description.
I love Ender's Game.
I hated the movie. The books were fucking amazing.
It's because the movie's not a good adaptation at all. It sucks.
Oh, the
Oh,
movie's
it's
terrible. That movie's
Oh, it's so bad.
terrible.
The book takes place over years. The movie takes place over weeks, which that in and of itself is enough to hate it.
Well,
That
and they
sounds
introduced
vaguely familiar.
introduced Bean far too in the same fucking launchy group as Ender. That's not how it happened. Bean came like a year and a half, 2 years later,
Yeah.
and he was designed to act as a foil to Ender.
And he's got his own set of books and everything.
Yeah, because it happens essentially simultaneously.
But we are gonna wrap it up here, guys. We've been going about an hour and a half, and then I've got to freaking eat, shower, and stream again over on my channel. So the normal Sunday stream for me is moved up about an hour and a half. So I'll be doing that at 4 Eastern. So about an hour from now, I'll be doing that. But we'll go around and let everybody plug their shit. Oracle of Doom. Do you have anything to plug?
I have absolutely nothing to plug. I'm just a fan, and I'm privileged to be here. And thank you all for having me. And hey, hail the 199, hail the Arcanation, hail the Fellowship, and y'all be blessed.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Sir Reefer, who does Twitter on the shitter.
Yeah, I do Twitter on the shitter. I don't have the link prepped. Sorry, Biggles. It's just the username I've got on screen. But yeah, I literally do not tweet unless I'm taking a shit. So every word on there, right? A mudslide's happening. That's the phrase. But I don't do anything else. I'm here to play video games, work in the real world, because once I log off, the internet doesn't exist like it should for everyone. Just be normal, go outside, touch grass, and interact with real humans.
There you go.
There you go.
Patty, who never has anything to plug for himself, but do you have anything to plug, Patty? Hello, Patty.
Patty.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
There
now.
he is.
Stupid microphone. Yeah, nope, nothing to plug.
Hey, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you. Kaylin Wilkinson, you got anything to plug, man?
Yeah, hey, I've got my channel, the 199 podcast. Episode 4 of the podcast is this Thursday. We've got the live show of the podcast every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then this Friday, we have an interview with Project Egg Roll, which is exciting. And then I also have, And then I've also got 9 fantasy books out on Amazon as ebooks, paperbacks, audiobooks as well. under my real name. So if you just search my name up for some good old escapism, nothing equating anything to the real world or current day politics, just some old-fashioned fun.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Sleazy Society. What do you got, man?
Oh, I finally hit 500 subs. I just need 200 more watch hours, and then I can start being a proper Jew and grifting everything.
Hell yeah! There you go.
Hail Sleazy.
So if you like base Jew content where I make fun of transgender people and call everything woke before it actually turns out to be woke, like I'm clairvoyant, I will be the channel for you.
There you go, man. Sub to Sleazy Society. And Grandmaster Chris, what do you got, man?
Much like Oracle, I've got nothing to plug. I'm just a fan, and I by the way, I just gave the 199 podcast a sub because
Nice.
Everyone here deserves a sub, and I wish my camera was working so I can show this, but from in the middle of this month, I went into my local bookstore and I got myself a hardback copy of Star by Star, the new Jedi Order book.
Nice, dude.
As well as issue 13 of the Legacy comic book series. Because, God, good Star Wars comic books are so hard to find nowadays.
And they're expensive.
It's all the modern day Marvel crap where Luke Skywalker looks like a woman and Mace Windu looks like an ape. So
that's called progress.
Yeah,
that's called progress.
I mean, if you are interested in subscribing to my channel, all I do is I just play video games. I'm currently streaming Arkham Knight, which is a better game than Suicide Squad, and I think I just got hit with a copyright something because of a song. I think it was the song where Joker goes, "I can't stop laughing. What else can I do?"
Chris, I've got something for you. I'll DM it to you on somewhere.
On Twitter
for that copyright strike. Just drop it in the notes. Don't say anything else, and just copyright it as a parody.
There you go. That sounds like a plan. And then last but not least, we got Biggles, who's been backstage modding. What's up, Biggles?
Hi, everybody. The return of the best Batman, Terry McGinnis, is coming to animation with Will Friedle as the voice actor, so I'm hyped. And Ryan is awesome. Make sure you remember that. And then I'm pushing 300 subs on my YouTube channel, so it's in the chat. Get me to 300. All right,
Hail
that's it.
Biggles.
There you
Have
go.
fun
Biggles.
back working to modding. Yeah.
Thank you, Biggles. And thank you to everybody on the channel, everybody in the stream for showing up. Sub to all these guys. Keep growing their channels and push them up and up and up because they're awesome. So thank you, guys. We'll talk to the chat. Let's see when this is the next stream we're doing. The last Sunday of March, which will be March 31st. The last day of March is going to be the next time we do this stream. I'll see all you guys in an hour over on the main channel. We'll talk to all of you later. Peace.
Hail Arcanation.
Hey guys.